Good morning, friends. It is March the 20th, I think, today, and we're starting by looking at the geranium I've just potted into here probably 3 or 4 days ago. And if you look carefully, you can see that the snail and slag pressure is a thing. Anyway, let's move on from that. We are in the garden and it's a beautiful day. It's going to be 17 Celsius today, which is, well, very much spring, almost summer weather in UK. But we'll start over here. I wanted to draw your attention to this hyacinth. It is something salmon. I'll see if I can find the exact name, because shockingly, this has been in bloom for almost a month now. And it's still holding up. Only now, this one here, the spike, is starting to wither a little bit. Now the cool thing is that I've had this since last year and they are already starting to separate. You can see babies in there if you look carefully. So if I can find the name of this, I will share it with you. And let's move on from that, because the Acer palmatum, Benny Maiko is the variety, is looking so gorgeous. This time round, I've actually kept it here on the back patio. Normally it goes on the concrete pad in the back of the garden, where it's a bit more sunny, but it is serving it well. It's doing beautifully. I will have to spray it pretty soon. For now, we have some, don't know if you can see it, trigger warning for anybody scared of spiders. You can see a tiny spider going at the initial insect infestation, but I'll have to start spraying against aphids pretty soon. It's just what it is in my garden. We have ants, we have aphids. Let's move on from there and let's look at these pots here, because something fun is happening, I've just noticed. We'll start with the geranium. This geranium is the same one that we have in the big pot that we started with. It's apple blossom geranium, sort of a pinkish color, very pretty. Then over here is a fig tree that somebody very kindly gifted me years ago. And if you're watching, you're not. But if you ever watch this, thank you, mate. It's fruiting for me, and it's the third year that it has fruit. Last year it had one fig, year before it had one fig. This year we are looking like eight maybe. All these funny little buds are in fact figs, which is very exciting to me. And then the cherry is letting out pups, which is nice. And the other beauties are doing great. I'm very happy because the roses are really coming into their growth spurt at the moment, which is very fun. But unfortunately, my fuchsia is not looking so hot. It really got hit by a frost. I might just get rid of it. We'll see how things go. My jasmine also seems somewhat dead. I'm not even upset about that, to be honest. It's fine. And then if we turn over here, first the lemons are lemoning, which is really nice. Then we have some of my starts. You can't really see much over here at the moment. These are cucumbers, cucamelons, and squashes, as well as sunflowers. This big pot has lots of nasturtium. Over here under the covers, it's all herbs and flowers. I just didn't have space in the house, and I'll just show you very quickly my messy house. Let's go around here. If you look carefully on my desk, it is literally covered with stars. These are tomatoes, peppers, and various lettuces and greens. And I'm not doing any more starts at this point, so that's that. Okay, going back to the lemon. Starting to bloom, which is kind of fun. Weirdly, this is Eureka lemon, not very juicy. I'm actually quite disappointed. Very nice in cakes, but not juicy at all. And then one more geranium over here and a bucket of water. Don't ask about that, but I'll tell you about the geranium. It's a red geranium, which I have years ago smuggled in from Poland, from my mom's porch, and we still have the same geranium. And then weeds and mint. I really need to take care of this year. Now, this odd plant actually blooms yellow. It's very pretty, so I'll leave it. But there's a bunch of weeds and nettles and things like that, as well as, actually that's not mint, that's oregano. That's mint, that's oregano. Okay, so we have a nice mix there, which is fine by me. And then lots and lots of little spring blooms, which is quite nice. And this gorgeous girl. The grass needs trimming, and I've been weeding, which, as you can tell, I'm very messy with. And this video is going to be a bit longer, actually, guys. So sorry about that, or you're welcome if you prefer that. But let's look at the beds. So the beer traps are in. They're empty at the moment. I've just put them in earlier today because the pest pressure is absolutely insane. But I also planted in some of my salad starts. And in here we have mizuna and Indian mustard, as well as all of my herbs, and some still to go. In here we have a bunch of radishes. Over here, these weird things are in fact rockets from last year, overwintered. And then just over there, it's all bok choy of different colors. Then over here we have some onions. My elephant garlic is not coming up and I'm starting to be worried for it a little bit. My other garlics are looking okay, but also a little rusty. So we'll see how things go. And then right over here, the magnolia is still in bloom. This bed has gotten really weedy again, so I'll need to get through it, but that's absolutely fine. And then we have rhubarb looking quite nice. And very quickly, let me walk you just over here, because I started using my little greenhouse quite excessively. And while I pulled out all of the bok choy that was in here, one of my tomatoes is now here. This is Montello. It's a miniature variety. It's perfect for pots. That's why it's there. So here's again a quick overview of the garden. As you can see, it needs trimming, but it's been very wet and it's still wet today, so I'm not able to trim until it dries out a little bit. But let's finish this tour very quickly, because we have some beautiful flowers over here. My very nice daffodils, double daffodils are blooming. And as I said, if you look carefully, pest pressure is insane. There are literally snails inside the daffodils, which is unheard of. And you can see a lot of damage on the foliage of the tulips as well. It's absolutely infuriating, but it is what it is. If you look carefully, fritillaria is also popping up. They're right around my beautiful rosemary bush. This pink lemonade blueberry is in flower, which is crazy. It does things at most of times. None of these blueberries over here, you can barely see them, are coming up, so I'm assuming they're actually dead, and that's okay. Summer rhubarb over here. My generous gardener is looking good. My Japanese rose is looking at the best it ever has been. The palm tree is palming, which is nice. And these snapdragons are starting to really wake up alongside the tulips and pull up some flower stalks, which is quite nice. I'm really looking forward to them. And then if we look over here, I'm not going to go through this particular border in too much detail, because on one hand it's a mess, but on the other hand it's a beauty. My boxwoods unfortunately are, I'm assuming, dead. I'm going to give them another couple of weeks and then I'll just pull them out if there's no signs of life. And a couple of roses that I have in there. There's one over there looking not so hot, and there's another one just over there looking a bit better. The smaller one, that one over there, is a miniature rose I bought at Sainsbury's years ago. It's coral colored with no smell, but it's a survivor. And this one over here is Peace, which I got from J Parks, and it arrived in not the best state, and it's staying in not the best state, but it actually bloomed last year, which is nice. And then a bunch of tulips, the ones that are standing at the moment, I believe they're Emperor White, but I would have to check that for you. And then of course lupins in both this corner and that corner is standing up. And that's it. That's my garden for March. I think it's looking not too bad. Messy as always, but not too bad. And I hope your garden or your gardening dreams are feeling fresh, because it feels like spring is really here, and hopefully this time to stay. See you later.